The decisive moment is a genre of street photography in which the photo must show the essence of an event itself. The photographers believed that what happens in front of the camera can only be properly displayed by its original composition. It is not something that can be altered using the darkroom or other sources. Cropping the image or editing it afterward creates a completely different image that does not hold the same meaning as the original form. The goal of the movement is for its simplicity to create a stronger, more relatable feeling.
Henri Cartier-Bresson was a French creator and pioneer of the style. He published The Decisive Moment that had 126 images showing his style of capturing the decisive moment. He believed that photography can capture the meaning beneath outward appearance. He also established the idea that photography should not be altered by other methods afterward, that it's important for the original version to keep its original message and composition. He began to travel the world as his career took off and focused not only on representing the decisive moment, but becoming completely immersed in the environment around him. Later on, he established the Magnum Photo Agency.
Bresson published his famous book of photos in 1952, which set the stage for the movement as a whole. After that, the style took off and influenced a number of photographers in the future. The concept of capturing the decisive moment did not undergo much resistance, as the idea only offered a new way for photographers to think that included no editing in the end, which overall appealed to many people. During its early years, the civil rights movement was taking place in the United States, which was a common source of scenery for the photographers who followed the photographic movement. The physical composition of the historical movement was a perfect area for photographers to use, not only to embrace the decisive moment, but to raise awareness and make a difference.
Bresson first used the Leitz camera, also known as the Leica camera, that used a 35mm strand of movie film that allowed for very precise focusing. Other photographers used a variety of cameras, but film cameras have been used a majority of the time for the old-timey monochromatic display. The entire movement of capturing the decisive moment revolved around Bresson's idea that the final image should not be edited in any way, so no special effects or darkroom equipment are used for the production of these photographs.
The photos taken according to this style obviously have a very in-the-moment feel to the viewer. Most of the photos are monochromatic, but in modern times, there are many photos taken in color that go along with the decisive moment, but most photographers choose for their photos to be monochromatic. Each photo gives off an everyday, relatable feeling, which makes it easy for any viewer to connect with the image. In a majority of the photos, the subject matter is obviously people and objects in the environment. None of the subjects are posing, and the photo is taken while they are acting normally. Each is taken without prior setup, so everything about the photo is happening in the moment.
Bresson believed that through the use of a normal focal length lens is one of the best ways to allow a photographer's subject to emote in a photo. Thinking about proponents such as perspective or depth of field can help to make a more powerful statement within one's photo that captures a specific moment. He believed that as a photographer, viewers are mesmerized by what the artist wants them to see. Future photographers such as Diane Arbus dug deeper on Bresson's concept and helped to shape the movement into what it is today.
Diane Arbus was a famous portrait photographer that used non-conventional subjects such as gay people, which was very uncommon at this time. She liked to focus on the misfits that aren't normally in photography. She stated that freaks, homosexuals, cripples, sick people, and dying people were often the topics for her photography. Her interesting pictures in New York City captured an interesting portrayal of the city.
Another decisive moment photographer is Ching Cheng, who believed that the decisive moment is a moment of grace. When the light is right, the circles are in harmony, the legs uprise just so. Click. He is a member of Bresson's Magnum Photos and focuses his subjects mainly on abstract concepts of alienation and connection.
Alex Webb is also a member of Magnum Photos and believes that photos aren't always controlled by the photographer, and most just happen. He says, "My most basic process as a photographer is to wander, allowing the camera and my experiences to lead me where they will." He arrives to different sites to take photos with an open mind to alternative possibilities.
Future photographers were given the idea that sensitivity, knowledge, experience, and imagination are what one is given to use within a frame in order for it to be easily comprehended, create a relationship, and express oneself as a photographer. After Bresson, later influencers of the movement consist of Pierre Gasman, Jean-Philippe Charbonnier, and Carl Maidens. They specifically focused on capturing the decisive moment through portraits and street photography.